ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नास्ति प्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रहे। होमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome you
Krishna.
all on our regular discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam. So yesterday we have discussed nearly 3 chapters on Canto 3. So we are just about ending of Chapter 3, where we seen that how Vidura actually went from Hastinapur and started taking all the places of pilgrimages. He went near Saraswati and Yamuna, and then he met Uddhava. Uddhava, being a very exalted devotee of Lord Krishna, he narrated by hearing about the questions of Vidura, he went into trance and then he started narrating about Krishna's pastimes from Brajalila, then Mathura, and then Dwarka Lila. And then in nearly end of chapter 3 and starting of chapter 4, he narrated one story how all the Yaduvansis and Vishnuvansis, they actually all disappeared. So it happened like they are actually the associate of Lord, and no one could kill them. However, Krishna thought that I am about to finish my pastime here, so let everyone go back. So the associate of the Lord were many of some of the devatas as well as very pure devotees of Lord as well. So the pastime happened like to perform a sacrifice. So many great sages they have came there in Dwarika, and one of the son of Krishna named Samba. So he was dressed like a pregnant woman, and because the young, like the kids, they were trying to play, and they went toward the sages and asked that. So the sages, they were like Vishwamitra, Narada Muni, and many other sages over there. They asked him that please answer us, or please let us know this woman, this lady, she's pregnant now. So will she give birth to a male or to a female? And the sages, though they were exalted, they knew very well what's happening over there, and they cursed them. They say that this child or this female will give a birth to iron club, and that iron club will be the cause of the destruction of your dynasty. So all the Yadu dynasty is going to be killed by that iron club. And then Yadus, they actually they got so much terrified, and they said, okay, we have done a crime or a very big mistake now. What shall we do now? And they approached towards Ugrasen, and then they out of afraid because of the curse, and they told the story to Ugrasen. And Ugrasen, Prabhupada writes that without consulting to Krishna, he asked them to grind that club to powder and throw it in the ocean. And everyone, they did the same like of that. However, when they went to the shore of the ocean, and that came back. You know, the river, the tides, it brought back to the shore, and it grown to a big canes. And later on, Krishna took everyone for a sacrifice, and that is very called as Pravas Kshetra. Pravas Kshetra is just a bit away from Dwarika, and they perform rituals and sacrifices for that, right? And the learning comes here is that, so these all were Krishna's family, and they do not have to go through any purification or sacrifices. However, just to teach common people, Krishna made the sacrifice, say that, okay, we should perform some rituals and sacrifices. So what happened actually is being narrated in chapter 4, that these all, when they went towards Pravas Kshetra, all people, the Yadutya dynasty, and they performed a sacrifice, and there they took some remnants of prasada offered to the brahmanas, and also they drank the liquor made of rice, and by drinking that they all became delirious, and the knowledge is gone, and they started talking, fighting with each other, and started saying very harsh words. And by that, as it said, that in the forest we see the forest fire, the trees or the bamboos, they rub each other, and the bamboos, they rub each other, and the fire happens, and we see the forest fire. No one light it, but we see the fire. In the similar way, all the people over there, the dynasty, they started fighting with each other, and the same canes which were the powder thrown to the ocean, that rose to canes, and they picked it, and they started fighting with each other, and that bamboo, and by fighting, the dynasty actually got finished. And then even Krishna knew it very well, but still he didn't want to intervene with that, because it was his plan, so that they go back to their eternal places where they came from for the Leelas. And Uddhava, he reached there. He reached to a place where Krishna was sitting under a banyan tree, and he said, Krishna, I knew that you are going to go back to your spiritual world, and by finishing your Leela, so please take me with me. All right. So Uddhava said, so please take me with you as well. And Krishna spoke to Uddhava. He said, you are actually very like to me. We discussed it yesterday as well. You like very to me. And I have actually visited many places. Like I've been to Vrindavan, Mathura, Hastinapur, Dwarika. Also, I've been to Indraloka, even to Yamaraj palace to get the son of my teacher, gurus. And then also I went to meet Bali Maharaj. However, I have not been to Badrika Ashram. And there are so many sages, they are meditating on me. So you are as good as me. So please go there to meet the sages in the Badrika Ashram. And by saying that, at the time, Krishna told that, please go and visit Badrika Ashram. So, and also he informed him that, to be sure, this is your last life in material world, and after this life, you will come back to my abode as well. And after that, he could see, after traveling in many parts of the world, Maitra Muni, a great devotee of Lord, and also a friend of Srila Vyasadeva, reached that spot. It's by his own kind of accord. No one has called him or phoned him or WhatsApp him, but he reached by his own knowledge over there. And then Krishna spoke about the discussion of him with Brahma. Again, you remember we discussed earlier that how Narada Muni asked Brahmaji that please tell me about the creation. And the same things is being spoken to Maitreya Muni and Uddhava both. And they both became enlightened. And then Uddhava glorified more to Lord Krishna. He says, just, doing transcendental loving service to his lotus feet, there is no difficulty in achieving anything in this realm. So he said that, no, I do your devotion just to engage myself in the service of your lotus feet, not for the purusartha. I don't want dharma, artha, kama, or moksha. These are called four purusartha. So I do not need any of these four principles of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. But I just offer my obeisances only out of loving service. And by saying that, so this is actually the main goal of our life, to engage in loving service of lotus feet of Krishna, rather than asking for dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. As we discussed earlier, when we take shelter of Krishna, his lotus feet, by default, liberation is achieved. We don't have to hanker for liberation anymore. Liberation is by default a kind of is a byproduct of taking shelter of Krishna. And by glorifying this, he said that, even we discussed the same a bit yesterday as well, the learned sages, they become disturbed, or they become bewildered by seeing the glorious pastimes what you did here. Because you are aja, you are unborn, still you take burn. You do not fear from anyone, though you went away from Mathura to Nanda Maharaj palace just out of fear. And that makes very, very a kind of, bewildered to all the sages, as well as we person, even to us who are under the shelter of illusion or Maya. And by glorifying that, he says, all those narrations are being done by Uddhava and Vidura on the bank of Yamuna river. And by hearing those things, Vidura, he said, oh Uddhava, you are very, very kind of, elevated servant of Vishnu. And please enlighten me more about the knowledge of Lord Krishna. And I offer you as my spiritual master, as a teacher. And Uddhava, out of respect, because Vidura is of grandfather's age of Uddhava. So he said, the same knowledge what I have received is also being received by Maitra Muni, and who is a great learned sage as well. And Krishna has already informed him about you. So I am going to Badrikashram as instruction given to me by Krishna, and Maitra Muni, you will be meeting Maitra Muni, and Maitra Muni will be giving the knowledge to you. So please go and meet him. And so, and Vidura departed to our Haridwar, and Uddhava departed to our Badrikashrama. A learning comes from here is that, see, the same knowledge was given to Uddhava as well as given to Maitra Muni, isn't it? However, when Vidura asked Uddhava, he could have said, okay, I will become your spiritual master, isn't it? But he said, no, the learning comes here that one should not be eager to become a spiritual master chiefly for the sake of profit and fame. Right? And then how he gave the right path to Vidura, saying that, okay, Maitra Muni is there, he's waiting for you, and you can go and he will enlighten you with the spiritual knowledge of Lord Krishna. And that is how it says that, again, the importance of spiritual masters comes here, that we need to find out a bona fide spiritual master who can give us the knowledge of Krishna, rather than talking cheaply about the profit and fame. Anyway, the profit and fame, whatever we get, it is going to be finished in this material world. And in this way, we finished chapter 4, and we will be entering chapter 5. Chapter 5, and let's see how it continues. So, Maitra Muni went to Dwarika and Vidura went to Dwarika to meet Maitra Muni. And then by meeting, What happens when those two great souls meet? They talk only about the Krishna Katha. They only discuss about Krishna Katha. And then with Uddhava went towards Badrikashrama as instruction given to him by Lord Krishna. Then Vidura, by meeting Maitra Muni, he asked so many questions to him. And he asked a very important question, very first question. He said, the people in general, they work for happiness. They work hard to get happiness, but they don't get happiness. And they get distress, still they work for happiness. And then the question comes here that how to stop this material happiness? It was a question. He said, we people, in general people, they work for happiness, but they do not get happiness, but they get distress. And still, they still work for getting happiness. So how can someone stop this material happiness? These are the first question asked by Vidura to Maitra Muni. And then he went saying more, even said, even the purpose of pure soul or the pure devotees traveling is to show the compassion to people and enlighten common people bhakti yoga. If you remember, we discussed earlier the same thing, like, tirthi kurvanti tirthani. So the places of tirtha is glorified because the people are there or the devotees are there. And the same said to Vidura by Yudhishthira Maharaj, that you keep Lord in your heart, so you in self you become Dhama, a Dhama or a place of where Krishna resides. And a devotee was giving a very nice lecture someday from our temple, Karuna Bhavan, Jawatvashi Prabhu. He said, we normally go towards Dham. Let's say go to Vrindavan Dham, Mayapur Dham, or Mathura Dham, Dwarika Dham, Jagannath Puri Dham to take Lord Darshan, isn't it? However, if we can purify our heart, Krishna can come and take shelter in our heart, and our whole heart will become a Dhama. Right. So this is the nectar of Kali Yuga. Just by thinking, by practicing Krishna consciousness, Krishna can come within our heart, and that place can become Dhama, or the residence or place to reside Krishna. There is a nice story comes once. Narada Muni says, Krishna, where do you reside, Krishna? Maybe, okay, we'll start anyway. So the purpose of pure devotee is to show the compassion to the people, not to get distract them towards the dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. That is the process of pure devotees. They enlighten people with bhakti yoga, and by which they can stop this material hankering and go back to Vaikuntha Dhama. And then he says, please instruct me. Please instruct me. Very specifically, he said, please instruct me on the transcendental devotional service of Lord, which just by getting the knowledge of Krishna about the absolute truth, which is the essence of all Vedic scriptures. And then he started asking more questions, as like Parishad Maharaj asked about Purusha Avatar and his many forms, Lila Avatar, why we conditioned soul are actually being intact in this material world, and different types of creatures. So we will be hearing the discussion we did earlier in a different way. The same thing will be described, but in a more different details are we there, right? And earlier we seen that how Brahmaji made one sampradaya. Brahmaji gave knowledge to Narada Muni. Narada Muni gave knowledge to Vyasadev, and Vyasadev to Sukadev Goswami, Sutta Goswami, and then again it comes down towards us, till us. And that is one sampradaya. And the second sampradaya is, it will establish today, maybe it comes in 6th or 7th chapter, where Sankarshan gives knowledge to Chatuskumar, the 4 Kumaras, and the 4 Kumaras goes down and down. So second sampradaya is from Chatuskumara. And one comes for Rudra, that will come nearly in 5th canto, if I'm not wrong. He says about Rudra in Rudra Geet, and then one sampradaya comes there. important thing is that all the four sampradaya, either Sri Sampradaya or Rudra Sampradaya or Brahma Sampradaya or Chatuskumar Sampradaya, they all are speaking only about Krishna, about pure devotional service. That's an interesting part. Right? Something here and there, but everything is, point is, center is Krishna Katha. And Vidura explains then he wanted to hear more and more about Krishna Katha. And he said, I do not want to listen anything social and political topics. He said, I have heard many from Vyasadeva. You remember, earlier we understood that Vyasadeva was not satisfied by writing all the scriptures, even the 17 Puranas. But he went to his spiritual master Narada Muni. In fact, Narada Muni came to him and said that, we need to write something glorifying about Krishna completely. And then he said, just please talk with me only about Krishna Katha. And he said that, as I discussed, we have seen heard everything from the mouth of Srila Vyasadeva. So I do not want to hear anything more. I just want to hear the nectar of Krishna Katha. And Prabhupada writes in the purport saying that there are two important Krishna Katha currently in the world. One is Bhagavad Gita and second is Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavad Gita is Krishna Katha because it is spoken by Krishna, whereas Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna Katha because it narrates about Krishna. If you have noticed in our discussion, many a time I try to put something from Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna said. So Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam are both Krishna Katha, both relates to us. How can we actually elevate ourselves towards spiritual planet? And even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he advised all his disciples to preach Krishna Katha. So whomsoever, see, the thing that whenever you start hearing more and more through your ears, it goes to your heart, and your heart gets purified, you start speaking about it. Because you get benefited with the knowledge, so you wanted to share that knowledge. And hence, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that please spread the Krishna consciousness. Why? Because Krishna Katha is the only thing which can purify our material hankering, material contamination, material attachment. No other thing can do. And that is why Krishna Katha should be heard by everyone. Krishna Katha should be spoken by everyone. And then he explains more about Krishna Katha, that is what the power of Krishna Katha. He said, Krishna's lotus feet is sum total of all places of pilgrimage. And who is the person who don't want to surrender to that? As we discuss now, that by hearing Krishna Katha, Krishna comes to our heart, start cleansing it, and he makes the heart his own place. Right? And if Krishna is in a heart, that everything is there. And everything is there. We will be seeing so many leelas in 10th canto, where every pilgrimage, or even in Kartik month, which is going to come very soon, it is being said that in Kartik month, we see the Vrindavan in India. That Kartik month is, that Vrindavan is not a place of material world. It's actually a spiritual world, replica of spiritual, because Krishna has came here and did his Leela. And so it's being said that all the Devi Devatas, they actually go to Vrindavan, live there for a month in Kartik. However, it is not possible for us, for everyone, to go in Vrindavan and live there. But we can make our heart, we can make our home Vrindavan just by narrating, discussing our Krishna Katha, keeping Bhagavatam in our home, reading the Bhagavatam. We can make our home a pilgrimage. That is the beneficial or benefit of doing Krishna Katha, and which actually enters toward the holes of our ears. And he explained that Prabhupada says in the purport that Krishna Katha is so powerful that simply by entering into a person's ear, it can at once give deliverance from the bondage of family affections. which actually sometimes is which binds us a lot in here. And Prabhupada says that no, anyone who misunderstands this perishable body to be the self and who works for it, which is basically a false conception of life, is certainly a fool and does not know what is reality and what is unreality. And by hearing Krishna Katha, we understand this conception that we are not this body, we are super soul, and we are soul, and there is a super soul who control us, and that super soul is Krishna himself. And we have a loving relationship with him. Once what happened? In the very early days of Krishna ISKCON movement, very devotees, they try to make one arrangement for Prabhupada to speak. And at the end, it was a huge crowd, but the organizer, they just gave 2 minutes to speak about Krishna Katha. And the devotee thought, oh my God, what's now? In 2 minutes, how can we do it? And Prabhupada will be traveling from a long way just for 2 minutes. Then Prabhupada says, no worries, we can explain Krishna consciousness within 2 minutes. And Prabhupada says the line, interestingly. He said, we are not this body, we are soul. First line. He said, there is a higher than soul, is called a super soul. And we have a loving relationship with that super soul. And that super soul is Krishna himself. So we should try to know about the Krishna and try to know about our the nature. How can we love Krishna? That is Krishna consciousness, finished. Just imagine it, nothing else. When we realize that by hearing Krishna Katha, Krishna is my best friend who lives within us. We'll see a story. It comes, I think, in 5th canto as well, where Narada Muni explains a nice story about unknown friend, unknown dearest friend, that is Krishna. We don't know that the person is residing within us only, right? And then he explains more about Krishna Katha, and he said that no, people, anyone who hear Krishna Katha should try to spread the message of Krishna Katha as well. And in Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan, it says in 15th chapter, anyone who spreads my knowledge to other, they are most dear to me, and they come back to my abode. That Krishna says in 18th chapter. So spreading about Krishna Katha is glorious as well. Hearing Krishna Katha is glorious as well, right? And then this goes more about the topics, and he asks so many questions. And then an interesting thing comes that hearing Krishna Katha or remembering Krishna Katha, remembering lotus feet of Lord, what happens is it vanquishes all the miseries. So normally there are 3 types of misery. One is called as Adhyatmika, then one is Adi Bhautika, and one is Adi Daivika. 3 miseries. What are those? Adhyatmika means the miseries we get from our body. Body means maybe you are diseased, or you can't sometimes see, or we are not feeling well. These are the problems we get through our body. See, in our body, there is a whole system is there. Like we take food, we get digest. Some here and there, it becomes a disturbance to us. That's a kind of misery from our body itself. And Adi Bhautika is the miseries we get from others. Sometimes from envy or jealous, we get miseries. Like, okay, my neighbor got a big new car, I'm upset. We should appreciate rather than we get upset. Okay, my colleague got promoted, we upset, isn't it? So these are the, or we see sometimes, our relative or someone left the world, then we get problems. So we get, distress, we get miseries, we cry and all those things. So that is the second type of misery. And third misery is called as Adi Daivika. Adi Daivika is the miseries which we get from supernatural powers. Like there is too hot. in summer in India mostly, we say too hot, it's unbearable, or too cold, or too windy, and earthquake, tsunami, these things are called as Adi Devika. So these are the three miseries in sum total which we get. And by taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, by remembering his lotus feet, these three miseries goes away without delay. So understanding is that it doesn't mean that we won't get problems, but the mean is that when we get problem, we know where to go and take shelter. We say, okay, Krishna, please help me out. Please help me out from this danger. Otherwise, it's going to come to a very, very huge, but we have made it a very small. So please help us out to go away from this. And by remembering Krishna Katha, these things happens. And then he said the essence of all topics is hearing Krishna Katha. He gives an example of a honeybee. So in the forest or in the garden, honeybee is so focused that he is not distracted by the roads or the trees or maybe any water fountain, anything. He is so focused that he just go and sit on the flower and take honey. Right. In a similar way, a person should be focused to hear about the topics of Krishna Katha. That is the essence of all topics. Right. So honeybee, yeah, we know very well that honeybee he doesn't wait anywhere. He just sit over there. And in a similar way, person should try to understand and to read and to know more about the essence of all topics, that is Krishna. And then Maitreya Muni actually honored Vidura and expressed his gratitude, says, you are one of the most fortunate people. The most fortunate people who are interested to hear Krishna Katha. And also the one who is eager to speak about Krishna Katha. See, the one devotee explaining that, fortunate and unfortunate. Fortunate is, we sometimes think the fortunate means, okay, if we have everything lavish. That is fortunate for this life. What's next? Who knows? But when we hear Krishna Katha, we become bliss and we go back to Godhead and we always remain fortunate. And there are many people who are unfortunate. Unfortunate is not just material things. Unfortunate is if someone has everything, but still he is not engaging himself toward hearing Krishna Katha about the topics of self-realization, then everything is all dump. We discussed yesterday, isn't it? Like having many zeros. Even if we have lakhs of zero, the value becomes only zero, unless until put one in between that. So Krishna Katha is that one, making that lakhs zero to be uncountable money or uncountable anything. So that is why they both appreciate each other. Maitreya Muni appreciating to Vidura because he wanted to hear eagerly, and in the same time Vidura appreciating Maitreya Muni, he wanted to speak about Krishna Katha. And Maitreya Muni says, I am not so well versed, however I will try my best to explain the things, because no one can know Krishna fully, completely, right? And then he explained that I think we discussed it, that Vidura is also an incarnation of Yamraj. So there is a story happened, like Mandavya Muni, he cursed him, and he cursed him that you will be coming in three ways. So even he came as Yudhishthira Maharaj, he's called as son of Yamaraj, or son of Dharma, and he also came as Vidura. He also came as one more sages. I'm forgetting the name. I forgot. I'll tell you tomorrow. So he came as three. So three, it been cursed by the Mandavya Muni, and he came in three different incarnations. So one of whom is Vidura. And Vidura, Yamaraj, we know all that, he's a controller of every living entity after death. And then he glorified about him, and then he started answering his questions about the process of creation. How does it happen? He explained about that, all the Devi Devatas, they take shelter of Krishna. They glorify Mahavishnu, and they said that, I read that verse actually, what the Devata says. "O Lord, your lotus feet are like an umbrella for the surrendered soul, protecting them from all the miseries of material existence. All the sages under that shelter throw off all material miseries. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances onto your lotus feet." I think a couple of days back we understood that if there is rainy season, there is no problem. We still can go out by taking an umbrella. We won't get wet, isn't it? In a similar way, in this Kali Yuga, no problem. It's Kali Yuga, where we have ocean of faults. Kalir dojo niserajan asti ka mahan guna, isn't it? So this Kali Yuga, let it be so many faults, but if we take the umbrella of Krishna Katha, it's not going to impact us. That's being said by all the devatas, and saying that, the one who takes his shelter, you protect them as if life umbrella. And then they explain that, Krishna is the source of all knowledge. So because Krishna gave the knowledge to Brahma for creating everything, and hence he knows everything as well. And he explained more about that by taking shelter of even holy places, holy man, and holy river, the sinful reactions also goes away. I think it's okay. We can continue for some more time. Okay, maybe last point. Then he compared one thing as a tree to the lotus feet of Krishna, and the top of tree to his lotus face as well. One comparison comes as tree. It's like when we want to water the tree, we don't water to the flower or to the branches or to the leaves. We actually give water to the roots, isn't it? In the similar way, everything emanates from Krishna. Krishna is the root, cause of all causes. So if we water to Krishna, if we worship Krishna, if we talk about Krishna, if we speak about Krishna, then every other thing will get nourished by its own. The branches will get nourished, the leaves will get nourished, the flowers will get nourished. And hence, once surrendering to Krishna's lotus feet, everything is being nourished and also satisfied. Right? We will see in even in Rudra Gita also, Lord Shiva also glorifies, saying, okay, let's worship Ram, let's worship Krishna. Right? Then he said, simply by hearing about your lotus feet with eagerness and devotion. See, the point is that the same things is being said by everyone as well. Earlier also we understood that, okay, simplicity is required, submissive is required, eagerness is required, devotion is required for here. And here also it's been said, simply by hearing about Lord's lotus feet with eagerness and devotion and meditating on them within the heart, one at once becomes enlightened with knowledge. So it is the degree of surrenderedness, enlightenment of knowledge will come within. Again, a point here is enlightenment with knowledge. It doesn't mean that, we should be scholar by reciting so many verses or, Sanskrit words. It's not that. That knowledge is that we discussed earlier. The knowledge is that we are Krishna's servant. We are his part and parcel. Jivera Swarupa hai Krishna Nitya Das. That is the knowledge, that we are a living entity and parts and parcel of Krishna. Our duty is to serve him. That is the real knowledge. One Maharaj, I think His Holiness Bhakti Prabhu Maharaj, he was in my home nearly 2 years back. and he was giving a lecture to everyone in Bhagavad Gita. He said that I went to India and I met many of the uh, scholars who have done their kind of some degrees in Bhagavad Gita, but still they are confused who is Krishna. So knowledge means it's not about just, okay, I know all the verses of Bhagavad Gita. I have read Bhagavad Gita many times, but the understanding is that unless until we understand that Krishna is the supreme and we are his parts, the knowledge is useless, right? And by surrendering service, we get this knowledge of him, right? That is why I said Krishna enlightens us with knowledge, because Krishna enlightened knowledge to Brahma to create. So whatever we need, it comes. And Krishna also says, in Bhagavad Gita, that I give the intelligence, I give the knowledge, I give the remembrance, I give the forgetfulness. So everything comes from him only. All right. So that is why it is the need of every human being to take shelter of lotus feet of Krishna. And I think we will continue from here tomorrow. That is basically chapter number 6 tomorrow. One last statement before we close. He said, if you want to increase our devotion and detachment to material, we need to attach ourselves to Lord Krishna. So detachment is very, very difficult. Giving up is very, very difficult. However, when we attach to Krishna, we can give it up. It's like, as I gave example earlier, that, if someone wants to hear a song, isn't it? How long can we hear the same song? Any Bollywood song? A week, a 2 week, maybe a month continuously. As soon as we get a new song, the old one goes away, because we get a new taste in that one, or something higher than the one we are listening. And the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, it is always new. And hence, if you see the devotees 30 years, 40 years, still they are chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because it's always new, always fresh, always youth. And it gives the information about Lord Krishna within our heart, right? So we get a higher taste. Definitely the lower taste, material things, goes away. And that's what Prabhupada says, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So any questions, please let me know. Or any suggestions, any advice?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, just one question. I just realized right now, when you were talking about Ram, that up till now, in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have only spoken about Krishna and not spoken about Ram. So is there any point in this Bhagavatam or in ISKCON where you also talk about Ram and his philosophy of life?
Yes. So we do talk about, because there is no difference between Ram and Krishna. And in Bhagavatam, in 9th canto, a small description about Lord Ram comes, and where Sukadeva Goswami said that, Parshit Maharaj, you know much about Rama. So that's why he narrated in a very shortly. So there is no difference between Krishna and Ram. Even there is no difference between, Bara Avatar or Nrsimha Avatar or Jagannath or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These all are one. But as we discussed earlier, that Ete Kamsa Kalapamsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So everyone, we discussed about the 6 avatars, different avatars, isn't it? So everyone comes from Krishna. And one is Vishnu Tattva, that is Lord Rama and Vishnu, and this is one category. So they are all one. They just come here, like Lord Ram. He come here to exhibit one of his Leela. But he is same as Krishna. There is no difference in that. That makes sense?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
One question.
Yes, please.
Prabhu, Jagannath Ji, there is no mention of Jagannath Ji anywhere. I mean, where did actually and how did Jagannath Ji came? I mean, he is also Narayan, correct? If I'm right in saying so.
Yeah. So description of Jagannath Ji comes in Padma Purana, and he is most merciful as well. And I'm just looking onto him. He is in my home. He's sitting beside me, and he's empowering me to speak on Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
Yes. So Jagannath Ji is Krishna himself. So there is no difference in that. And Padma Purana also it gives a description of Jagannath Ji and others as well. And we see a very nice story. Someday we will try to hear about Jagannath as well.
Please, 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 please. Prabhu, I want to show my Jagannath Ji. It's made of the same wood of Puri Jagannath to everyone, if of course with your permission.
Yeah, definitely. We all get blessings as well. Yeah.
It's made of the same wood as Puri Jagannath.
Wow.
How do I turn the camera off? Okay, I'll show it like this. I'll show it.
Wow.
Wow.
Jai
Jai
Jagannath. Wow. So there's a song comes that says, Jai Gaura, Sai Krishna, Sai Jagannath. So that is the same Jagannath, same Krishna and same Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there is no difference between anyone.
Achha. So Prabhu, please, I mean, one day if you can like say something.
Definitely we will do it one day for sure.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your nice questions and
Hare Krishna. Everybody, see you tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.